Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Like to welcome y'all to the show. Today, I want to deal with the situation dealing with Ice Cube and the contract with Black America and him working with Donald Trump. But first, I want to play what he said, and after that, I want to get into a discussion with Brother Marcus Muhd of A-Tone Production. Brother Marcus Muhd, welcome to the show.
Thank you, brother, for having me.
Done deal. We finna get into this topic.
I came up with the contract with Black America, and I didn't run to go work with any campaign. Both campaigns contacted me. Both campaigns wanted to talk to me about the contract with Black America. One campaign said, "We love what you have, but let's really dig into it after the election."
Ice Cube
and
speaking.
One campaign said, "We love what you have. Do you mind talking to us about it?" And that's what I did. So I didn't run to nobody, and so that was real misleading to me.
Well, I didn't say you ran to anybody. I said that you had taken a pivot.
Well, you said I ran over to the Trump team instead of the Biden team. That's just not true.
Well, you are working with the Trump team instead of the Biden team, and people are giving you heat for it. What do you say to them?
Well, I'm willing to work with both teams, but I'm just working with whoever is willing to work with me. So the Trump campaign came to me and asked me to explain to them some of the contract with Black America. That's what I did. I'm not playing no more of these games, these political games. We're not part of a team. We have very broad problems, especially the wealth gap in this country when it comes to Black Americans. So I'm going to whoever's in power, and I'm going to speak to them about our problems specifically. I'm not going there talking about minorities. I'm not going there talking about people of color or diversity or none of that stuff. I'm going there for Black Americans, the ones who are the descendants of slaves. And that's what I'm going to talk to anybody who's in power with that. So if anybody got a problem with that, it seems like a personal problem.
Well, here's the problem, and it is very personal, as you know, for a lot of people of color, because they'll say, well, why would you pick Trump when he says there's no such thing as systemic inequality?
I'm not picking nobody. He's the president.
But why do you think he'd want to do something for the community when he says there's no such thing as systemic inequality?
I don't know what he want to do. I just know what the man said. I know what he said to the country. I've never met Donald Trump. So I don't know what he's going to do. I just know what he said he was going to do. So both of them have a plan. Both of them say they're going to do something. And who knows what's really going to happen after November 3rd. Nobody knows from each side. We're all hoping that candidates keep their campaign promises. So that's just it.
So let's look at it.
So, Brother Mark, hold on. We don't need to play no more of that because I know where it's going. But so far, what do you think about Ice Cube response and him feeling like he could trust either candidate or not feeling like he can trust any candidate, whether it's Biden or Trump? But if he didn't feel like he could trust any of them, then why put forth your plan to them?
Well, that's a loaded question. Just your question is loaded. The whole situation is loaded, and just your question is even loaded. I would just say, to try to be brief about it, we have to put something forth. We just can't remain acting and behaving as a dead people, like we don't have an interest. We have interests. We are alive, living people that should have interests, and others that we live in society with should know that we have interests, just like they got interests.
Right.
You know, we're not represented, and so yes, sir.
But see, the thing about it is that people have this stigmatization on Trump as a racist, right? And we're gonna break that down first. And so, okay, so what? Let's say Trump is a racist, right? But now, let's say Trump was a racist who owned land, right? in an area where you needed that land because that area and the land that he owned was fertile ground, and you can build and you can plant vegetation and you can survive off of it and grow your crops and whatnot. Will you not buy the land because it was sold to you from a racist?
That's right. The clothes on your back, the food you got on your table, the table itself, all that is just made, manufactured in some way or form, fashion by Caucasian people. So to say that you're not going to deal with the Caucasian just because he got a lot of hot racist comments to make doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But the thing is, what Q did gives the appearance that he chose to get with Trump and kind of barter our vote, our struggle, our retaliation, in effect, in the form of election for a cut, for a deal, for some money on the side for himself to sell us to the Trump campaign. That's the whole sensitive issue here.
Right.
Because even we got better sense to know. I mean, just go talk to some of us and try to tell them to do something about being black. Tell them to try to be black and do for black and buy black. They'll go off on you. Same people that's going off on Ice Cube right now.
Right.
So we all know that white people are the dominant. They have control. Okay, they are in authority. They are in a position of power right now. So we're not going to do anything without seeing them some kind of way. Anyway,
right.
But the thing, right? Yes, sir.
No, I said by default, right? They in power by default. But I just want to add this though, Mark, and I didn't mean to cut your wisdom, but because we got a diverse crowd that listens to this show, I just want to put this scenario out there. It's like if I grew up on the South Side, right, and my connect is on the South Side, but my connect is out. I need work. So I got another connect on the North Side. I'm not going to say, well, I'm not going to deal with this connect because he's on the North Side when I got bills to pay, people struggling, people depending on me. I'm going to deal with the North Side until my connect on the South Side gets back into power, per se. And so, yes, sir. No, bro. And that's what Trump was saying. I mean, that's what Cube was saying. Cube was saying that the Biden team reached out to him and told him we can deal with these issues after the election. He said Trump came and said, well, let's look at it now. So he said, okay, you want to look at it now? Let's look at it now, and trying to make it not personable.
Right. Now, I don't think we as a people have a big problem with that. I think the sensitive dynamic here is that right at 2 weeks before the election, the election day, Cube comes out and starts talking to Trump. The way it looks in the media.
What?
See, they don't play the very first part of this Cuomo interview, where Cuomo comes out and he says something to the effect of, "Why you down with Trump's platinum plan?" You feel me?
Right.
He's not even talking about Ice Cube's plan.
Right.
He comes out talking about, well, why you run to Trump to help Trump with his platinum plan. And that's just not the way it happened. But see, that's the way the media fed it to dumb Negroes.
Right.
So that when the dumb Negroes picked it up, they got a story to write and a story to tell. You know? And now they got ad space to sell because the blacks are in the uproar about something.
Right.
So we're going to get some views. All you got to do is just spin that a little bit, Cuomo, punk ass. Got to just spin that just a little bit to start a fire. Now that the fire started, Q got to come out and kind of try to put some of the fire out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When that was not Cube's intention from the beginning. Now, Cube ought to know better. I can't say that Cube couldn't have done better than that because he could have, especially being a man of his stature in society.
Right.
A man of his status in society, and being involved with media and entertainment and being in that world for so long and having money and being around these type of people, knowing how they are, you should have known. As soon as you go out there, somebody gonna use you.
Right. But
they're not gonna do nothing for you or the people that you're trying to represent, but they're gonna use that.
Right. I didn't understand that myself, because as the minister stated, you have to have action that backs up your words. You can't have words without action.
Yes, sir.
And so if Cube would have said, look, I'm going to sit down and meet with Donald Trump. I'll sit down and meet with Biden. But I want members of the NFAC with me. I want members of the FOI with me, just in case, so I can make it out of there, for one, and to show that we unify. Because one of the questions Como was asking was, well, do you trust him to deliver? Q said, well, I don't know if he's the president. You know, I don't know what he's going to do, what they're not going to do after the election. And that's, whoa, hold on. Because this is serious. If Ice Cube is going in there by himself or with a couple of people, of course, Trump will feel like, well, hell, I mean, what do you have to make me keep my word? Because it goes into, can you trust Trump? And if Trump is who he is, then of course you wouldn't. He's not gonna honor his word unless his feet is held to the fire in some type of way to force him to honor the word. So I'm trying to understand. So what do you think that Cube has to? I don't want to say make Trump honor the words, but what does Cube have that Trump would want to honor his words?
Nothing.
Oh, well, there you go. See?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know what he thought was going to happen. You know, my brother got a sincere heart, man. That's what I know about you, from being, you know, under his influence for so many decades, brother.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
Cube got the right heart. He got the right intention. I don't know what these dumb niggas out here talking about.
Right.
They probably brand new. They don't know shit anyway. Ain't doing shit. And as soon as somebody bring up something that's worth something, they ain't gonna do nothing any damn way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But Cube, mine is right. I don't know who they think they talking about.
Right.
But Trump got a whole different mindset, and his mind is on what he want to do. We all know Trump, so I don't see what he thought he was going to get out of it.
Right.
Except, you know, he was going to be used.
What?
You feel me?
Right. Exactly. I see the leverage. I don't know why. I mean, look, you and I know good and well how dire the situation is with blacks in America and the need for justice and the need for expression.
Mm-hmm.
And Ice Cube, he knows as well.
Right.
So when he's speaking on these issues, certain things are left off the table, and I'm trying to figure out why these things are left off the table when they could be used as a tool of force to force your position. It's like you said, Brother Mark, on the previous show, we was talking about voting. It's vote and it's violence that comes behind that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they announced that black people, 1.3 trillion to 1.4 trillion of economics that we bring in, larger than the country of Mexico. United, we can do some things. Put that on the table. Look, either let's deal with this contract with Black America, or we'll take our 1.3, 1.4 trillion and we'll separate and go somewhere else. Because they can't afford that amount of money taken up out the system?
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Why do we even feel like we need them involved in our salvation? We don't. You just said it. We earn or we bring in more than Mexico. Imagine. You know what I'm saying? Why do we need to talk to the Congress?
Right.
When we are already supposedly free to do what we want to do with our money? How come we can't take this same attitude towards doing something for ourselves with the money that we already have? It's resources. It's all about money. That's it.
Right.
We don't need to go to them, asking them, what can you do for us? Why are we still thinking like that? Why are we still worrying about that?
Right.
See, that's our underdevelopment that we need to deal with. Because Trump and them people are going to do what they're going to do.
Fact. Now, check this out, brother. This is part of the contract what Black America want, right? Number one, bill to guarantee black opportunity and representation. Adopt a plan of neo-reconstruction to redress past wrongs systematically imposed on black Americans economically throughout many generations that has resulted in a wealth gap where the average white family has 10 times the wealth of a black family. In addition to some of the economic initiatives listed below, also formally apologize to black Americans for past discrimination and slavery. Additionally, black opportunity and representation will include affirmative action in schools, public and private, per student funding, and states on an equal basis instead of paid by local property taxes. Black representation on all government civil rights bodies, civil rights classes, mandatory in elementary schools, gerrymandering reform, additional polling places in black and minority neighborhoods, Juneteenth to become a federal holiday. See, I don't know, Brother Mark. I'm reading this, right? And it's like you want the colonizer to go back and do something that was taught that's not in his nature to do.
Right. So, my response to that is this, brothers. Like what I always say, man, and I can't stand it when I see it in the media.
Huh?
Stating the obvious is not a solution.
Wow.
Stating the obvious is not a solution. And it's going to get us nowhere. Repeating the obvious over and over again. We already know all of that. They know that. We know that. How are we going to make that happen is what we need to be presenting to them. If we want to present something, which I say, if we get to the point where we have something that they can really do to present to them, then there is no reason to even present it to them. We just need to go and effect that,
right,
and make that happen.
Right.
You see, I'm a business plan writer. I write business plans. Okay. Mm-hmm. That what you just read to me, and what I've seen from a whole lot of people who present these proposals.